I love about this business is you are in the right place at the right moment. And I know that sounds cliche, but after the next 30 or 40 minutes here, I think you'll agree with me that you truly have something special in front of you, and I hope that you'll join with us as we look at this opportunity together. Let me tell you a little bit about my background. I actually started life in a family of five kids. My dad always told us to go out, start our own business, become entrepreneurs, and yet my dad worked for somebody else. Here I love music. So I became a DJ. That was my big thing. And I went around in the little dances for the junior high schools. As soon as I got to be a 9th grader, I went and did the dances at the junior high school. And that expanded on when I got my driver's license, because it was kind of embarrassing having mom to drive you to your job, right? So then I went from there to having my own little setup that I could go around and do the high school dances and those kinds of things. I had a great time with that. Hired a few of my friends. And by my senior year, I think I was making more than most of my teachers and most of the adults that I knew at that time in my life. It was a lot of fun. I've always had this entrepreneurial urge to do something fun and to be able to do what I love and put my passion into something that I can make a living with, which I'm really excited about. I went on from there. I went to work, and it was just going to be part-time, answering phones, giving people some nutritional advice, because my most interesting category that I was taking my classes at the University of Utah at that time was my nutrition class. I really enjoyed that. So I started giving nutritional advice to people on how to eat right, how to exercise, how to take care of their health, and these kinds of things. And it was a wonderful experience. It was just going to be part-time until I figured out my next big thing I was going to do. And I ended up being there for 6 years. And it was a wonderful experience. Has anybody ever kind of had that happen? You know, life happens, and I'm just going to try this, and then it becomes the big thing, right? So 6 years, but I got to tell you, that first day on the job, I'm sitting there going, you know what? I want to be one of those suits over in the corner, because they have such great life. Here I am talking on the phone all day. It seems like they were going to lunches, and they were going golfing, and they were doing the fun things, you know. And I thought, that's where I want to be. That's where I'm going to go. And I somehow lost the entrepreneurial spirit. Now, I don't know how many of you were like me. I had dreams of what I wanted to be, become, do, all of those things. It was kind of like when I was a kid. I knew I wanted to be an astronaut. I mean, I just knew it, right? Every fiber of my being, especially when I stood there in the Smithsonian Institute, I was just like, right? I mean, that's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to be that. And then life happens. And all of a sudden, the dreams kind of start shrinking down, you know, and life just kind of happens. And you kind of get content with, well, it's not going to be an astronaut now. Maybe I'll just work for NASA. Right? And then it's, well, maybe it's not going to be NASA. I think I'll just take the job at the local grocery store. I mean, whatever it may be. And then all of a sudden, pretty soon, it's life, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm just telling you right now, one thing that I hope that you'll glean from this 40 minutes together is don't let that happen. Doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter at what stage of your life you are, whether you're retired or you're just getting ready to start, or you're my friends here that aren't even old enough to get involved in this opportunity, but your parents are. Okay? I'm just telling you right now, don't let the dream stealers steal your dreams. Because there is opportunity out there, and you can have, be, or do anything you want. Doesn't matter when you start, doesn't matter where you are, you can do it. So today we're going to be talking about, and my journey continued on, and I stayed with Leader Nutrition for 6 years, worked up to be their international sales manager, traveling the world. Sounds like an exotic job. But, you know, it was a great opportunity, but I was always being told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and I ended up in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I remember the day, calling home to my wife with our newborn at home, and just going, I don't want to be here. I want to be there. I want to be home. I don't want to be on a 2-week trip all over Latin America. I want to be home. I want to work from home. I want to figure out a way that I could do that. Does anybody have that desire? Would anybody like the commute to be in your pajamas or in your robe down the hall? Right? I mean, that is like, doesn't that sound just awesome? Can I tell you? All of my friends do it. That's what they do now. A lot of my friends right now, they make enough money with the opportunity you're about to see, sharing chocolate with people. Now, this just sounds almost too good to be true, right? That you could do that with chocolate. And I know this sounds almost extreme, but it can happen. And it works. And it's amazing. Fast, here was the coolest part of this job. My division was set up to go out and sell to companies that were in the direct selling industry. Now, these are companies you may be familiar with. They're companies like Shackley Corporation, Amway, Mary Kay, Arbonne, Nu Skin, Herbalife. These were companies that were my clients. So I would go to their headquarters, and I'd sit down in Century City. It was just a little hop, skip, and a jump away from where I was. Herbalife became one of my biggest clients. I would go and meet with the heads of Herbalife. And we would talk about their next big product and their next big pill that was coming out. We were the capsule tablet manufacturers. I'd fly to New Skin in Provo, Utah. We'd sit down and talk about their latest new product introduction into the Japanese market. I made these products for these companies. And then I'd go to their conventions and I'd see these amazing stories being told about how the products impacted people's lives, and it was awesome. And I'm going to tell you, I got all caught up in that energy, and I said, man, someday I want to be up there. Because these people were walking across the stage of these conventions talking about these products that I created in a little laboratory setting, and all of a sudden they were saying, I've made money. Not just a little bit of money, okay? These people were saying, I made $1 million, and they'd walk across the stage. And the next guy, they made $2 million, and they'd walk across the stage. And I was just blown away, because I'm looking at this going, there's no way. How could you have that kind of money working for you? And then they would start speaking, and I'm like, I definitely could do that. I know I could do that. Because, you know, it was just amazing. They were just average people having above average results. And you know how it worked? It was they understood something that I didn't. I was a salesperson. I was the sales guy selling things to people. These people figured out how to create a distribution network and leverage their time through others. Now, let me just do a little analogy with you here real quick. Any of you that has a job, you work for somebody else, and even if you own your own business to a certain degree, this is somewhat true. How many of you literally wake up early in the morning, you get ready, you commute, you get to your job, you work 8 hours, they tell you when you can take a lunch, you get done, you take your drive home, takes you another however long that is, you get home, you plop down in front of the couch because you're completely tired and exhausted from the whole day's adventure of all the things that you did, so that you could get 8 hours pay. Now, it's probably like a 6 a.m. to a 6 p.m. or maybe a 7 to 7, something like that. So here you are working 12 hours in a day to get paid for 8 of it. You don't even get paid for all of the stuff that you're getting ready and decompression, right? So you get paid for 8 of the 12. And then, when the check comes, you're kind of disappointed because they take out for all the FICA and the federal and the state and all of that stuff, and you end up with maybe 60% of that. And in the end, you're working 12 to be able to get paid for 4. Okay? That's called being deleveraged 3 to 1. I'm going to teach you something today through an amazing opportunity with an incredible product that frankly I'm totally excited about, and so many are, how you can actually take that and flip it to be leveraged the opposite direction, but it's unlimited in how you flip. Here's the amazing part. You're not limited to just 3 to 1 or 5 to 1. Do you know Bill Gates at the peak? He became the richest man in the world because he was leveraged 72,000 to 1. 72,000 employees worldwide to 1, the owner of the company. Now, the interesting part is, how could you put that leverage to you when literally, you know, I make $10 an hour down at my job? I don't understand. I'd have to have the business plan perfect for that to work. I'm just telling you right now, we're going to show you the plan. We're going to show you how to do this, and you'll be trained on it today by experts that literally are among you right here that are willing to train you for free. They're willing to give you this education and show you what they've learned, and it's so simple. You only need to learn 7 simple steps to be able to make this happen. So, I don't need to get ahead of myself, but I want to share with you, that's the precursor of why we're here and what we're looking at. And frankly, some of you today may be looking at this and saying, well, I'm just here for the chocolate. What's all this about? Okay? I'm just going to tell you right now, we have the most world-class product. The reason I give you that background is I've made the pills, the shakes, the bars, and all these different products for these different companies, some of the biggest companies in the industry. And I had a successful manufacturing company when I decided to stop working for somebody else and start my own job.